Alright, hello, this is my first general YouTube pick a card reading. I've done a lot of pick cards on Twitter where I'll type out what the reads are, but I've decided that I want to do more videos. So, it's the first one, and the topic for this reading will be, what does your shadow have to tell you? And I just did an Instagram post about the importance of grounding and connecting with yourself, your full self, figuring out why you're here, why your soul chose to be here, needing to go deeper, needing to connect more with the earth so that you can become closer with yourself. And the closer you are with the earth, the higher up you can go, I guess, if that makes sense. Because then the more you open up, you don't lose sight, you don't lose sense of your purpose and your direction. You know, you have a firm foundation. And the shadow, I think, is an important part of that, because a lot of your shadow is formed in your subconscious. It's formed when you're very young, so like your foundations, like in childhood, like between the ages like 0 and 7. I think that's where a lot of it is built up. And they're just things that you're unconscious of, things that you do that you aren't aware of, parts of yourself that you may be ashamed of, and it could be good or bad, you know. Like, there's two types of ways of analyzing, not two types of ways, like, if there are aspects in other people that you put on the pedestal that you like look up to very strongly, those are often aspects that are within yourself, and those are part of your shadow. And there are also, when there are parts of other people that you really like hate, like despise, have like a very strong negative reaction to, sometimes those are traits that you also have in yourself, but you're ashamed of them, so you have a stronger reaction to it. Yes. So this reading will show we'll basically just talk about what parts of yourself that you were unaware of that you need to know about, or like what your shadow wants to communicate with you. Yes. And so we have 3 decks here: Tarot of the Spirit, Prisma Visions Tarot, and the Dali Tarot. I recommend pausing the video, taking a little bit to like look at the decks, connect with their energies, figure out which one is for you. And also with each deck, we have the Ametrine on Tarot of the Spirit, we have Chrysoprase on the Prisma Visions, and we have Labradorite on this one's, you can't really see the flash that well, a little bit, on the Dali Tarot. I know the stones might be a little different from the thumbnail, but like, it's okay. I actually filmed this video once and accidentally deleted it, so I think that was just the universe's way of saying that was not the video. Trial run. Now we're back. Okay, so I'm gonna start with each one. For each group, I'm gonna pull a Supra Oracle. Yeah. Before I pull one of these, I'll pull the Supra. This is the Supra deck, by the way. I love it. So group 1, welcome. Please take the time to subscribe, to like the video and subscribe. Let me know if it resonates. I'll be posting more of these. Let's see what your Supra Oracle is. What does your shadow have to tell you? Ooh, I'm gonna try that again. Mysticism. Ooh, pull that a little bit further down. I'll get one more because I feel like there's one more for you guys. Mysticism. Transformation, and Oracle. These are the ones that came out. On the bottom of the deck we have Magic, okay? So before I pull tarot cards, when I get here, I feel that a lot of you watching this video may have a hard time with allowing yourself to, like, wanting to dip into, like, the occult, wanting to dip into the mystical arts, wanting to dip into different magical practices and things, and try and understand yourself more. But I feel that there is a deep-seated fear around that. Like, what could happen to you? Like, thinking about, like, it feels like if someone was brought up with, like, a Christian upbringing where they were told, like, if you do this, you'll go to hell, or if you do this, you'll be eternally damned, or something like that, you know? And so because of that, there's this, like, deep subconscious fear of dipping too deeply into the occult for fear of what may happen, you know? Like, oh, I don't need to know what's going to happen in the future. That's just, like, or, no, not what's going to happen in the future, but, like, I don't need to dip into divination. I don't need to understand, like, do these things that are, like, this energy work, I guess. Feeling that it's selfish subconsciously, you know, feeling that it will somehow disconnect you from a higher force, you know. But I feel that you guys in particular have a lot of potential regarding the occult, regarding mystical arts, regarding these kinds of things. Some of you might be really great manifestors if you put your energy into it, honestly. There's a lot of potential within you, and I think if you take the time to meditate on it, you will find it. I'll put these aside. I'm not going to put them away. They're just going to go over here. And then I'm going to pull some tarot, shuffle and pull some tarot for you. I need to let my cat out. Hold on. Okay. By holding yourself back in this way, you are dampening your own life, I think. And I think the idea of even getting into any of these things is, like, very anxiety inducing for you guys. There's no need to be afraid. You know, there's no reason for it. I mean, like, it's not that your fear isn't valid, but nothing's going to happen to you, you know. If anything, I think it will foster a greater sense of unconditional love for yourself. It'll help you bring more of your life to the surface, because honestly, the more shame that you feel for yourself, and the more shame that you feel for even being tempted to get into these things, the dimmer, like, it's like you're dimming yourself or putting out your own light, you know. And these things, like, even if even they subconsciously feel that they're evil, or subconsciously feel that they're bad, but, like, they're not. I think especially if you're dipping into your ancestral practices, because these are the things that your people did, you know, like, I don't know, like, what demographic is watching this, but these are things that they did. How could it be evil? Honestly, a lot of it wasn't considered evil until Christianity came along and said that it was. Yeah, there's so much potential for you guys. That's funny. I was gonna keep shuffling, and then these cards flipped out: the Hangman, the Sun. I think if you take the time to very purposely shift your perspective and let yourself seep into it a little bit, you might see things a little differently, or you might be able to overcome that fear. Because I do think you're undercutting yourself enough by limiting what you're allowing yourself to get into, or like how deep you want to go. Sorry, the shuffling has been taking so long. Okay. This is group ones. Okay, so Death. Two of Swords. Justice. Not Justice. Judgment. Seven of Pentacles. Your shadow is just waiting for you to make a decision, for you to decide to let go of old constructs. The High Priestess, the Knight of Cups, or Brother of Water, but just waiting for you to let go of old constructs, old ideas, old ways of thinking, to shed aspects of yourself that are no longer serving you at this point. Let go of beliefs instilled into you by other people, instilled into you by outside sources such as parents, political structures, etc. You know, it's urging you to let go of those things. Change the way that you think. Connect with yourself, and then you'll know what you're supposed to be doing, and then you'll know what direction you're supposed to go in. The Emperor. The Chariot. I think through allowing yourself authority over your life, because the reason your shadow, I'm not done pulling cards, but the reason your shadow wants you to let go of these constructs is because if you let the way that other people have built you up, and if you let the projections and the outside thoughts of other people, and if you also let society, if you let systematic structures completely inform your decisions, if you let the fear that they instilled into you control what you're doing, then you are not really, and you don't have true authority over your life. You know, it prevents you from being able to really make progress and move forward because you're too afraid of what will happen if you let go of those things. Two of Pentacles. There's a lot of duality here, and then Justice. There's a lot of duality. Feeling pulled between two places. Being pulled between like two options, you know, like light and dark. It's almost like you feel like there's one way that you have to be. Or like if you go off of this path, or if you do something that's like too different, or like too out there, then it'll just throw everything off balance in a way. It also kind of feels like wondering if you deserve to have the freedom. Because I feel that you two, that this pile, these are people who are frequently giving to other people. These are people who are frequently taking care of others, providing the stability for others. This was flipped over in the deck, the Ace of Swords. Flip it over here. Yeah. Frequently giving to others, providing the stability for the people in your life, whether that be siblings, or even the adults in your family or friends or whatever. I'm getting siblings in particular here. And so there's also this, like, if I make this decision to let myself go deeper into these occult things, or to make these decisions for things that I want to do for myself, then I will be somehow betraying these other people in my life, because it's like viewing it as selfish. Like you're viewing taking this time to do these things for yourself and to dive in to these supposedly like darker, air quotes, darker practices as selfish, because it could cause a rift, I think, belief-wise, between you and these people that you take care of and provide for at times. And you don't want to do that, I think. However, your shadow is pushing for you to do that, for you to break through the fear and to break through because I'm looking at the Knight of Cups, and there is a bit of a figure there, but they're kind of blurry, kind of vague looking, and it's because they're so deep in the feeling, so deep within the emotion. Oh, and on the bottom, I was just flipping through and I see the devil. Anyway, and also with the Ace of Swords, it's called dawn. There's like a clarity, breaking through the darkness. And I'm not saying darkness in a bad way, but like darkness as in it's not some place where you can see very clearly. Things don't always seem exactly as they are. You're going based off of feeling, and so like subconsciously, it's like your intuition is telling you that it would be good for you and that you would benefit strongly from dipping into these, like, I don't know what practice in particular, but dip into these occult practices in some way, telling you that would benefit you, that it would bring you some clarity, that it would help you become closer to yourself, that it would help you transform your outside situation and transform yourself internally, spiritually, so that you feel more complete with yourself. And I'm saying more complete with yourself because of the High Priestess. There's the black pillar, the white pillar, justice, well, it says karma, the black pillar, the white pillar. Same with Chariot, black pillar and the white pillar. And even in the Ace of Swords, it'll bring you clarity and a sense of completeness within self. And I think this is something that's been waiting for a very long time. A long time, years even. It feels like you dip your toe in a little bit and then you back away because you get scared of what's going to happen, or get scared of like you're going to get sucked into it too deeply or something, And so then I think for you in particular, you probably end up really looking up to people who are into these things, looking up to like mystics and tarot readers, and looking up to astrologers, looking up to different magical people, because those are things that you want for yourself. And I think that you would be amazing at doing these things, particularly because when I was looking at the Supra, I was flipping through, I saw fire and potential, and I forget what the other card was. They're gone now, but I already mentioned them. You would be amazing. I'm looking at the Oracle here. Amazing diviners, I feel. People who could read anything. Clouds, tea leaves, could read cards, could read charts, could read coins, could read bones. And that would give you so much insight into yourself and insight regarding what direction you should be going in life, because you'll understand yourself more deeply. And I think a lot of this is shame, which has been instilled into you for who you are, for your existence, for just being. Your shadow wants to be seen, I think. Well, I mean, all shadows want to be seen. That's part of it. He has a lot of insight to give to you. But your shadow is telling you not to be afraid of diving into these things. I want some more detail though. So I'm gonna pull something. Hold on, let me think about it. What time are we at? 20 minutes? Okay. I can pull a few more. I'm gonna pull a card from the Tantric Dakini Oracle because I don't know, it just feels like the right deck. And then I'll read to you. Not everyone's gonna get the same Oracle cards. Everyone will get the Supra though. They just threw a bunch of cards at me, and that was just not what I needed. You guys also need to know that you are protected in what you do. If you connect with ancestors, connect with your spiritual team, the universe has got your back, you know. You won't run, I feel like you guys in particular will not run into too many difficulties or too many hardships when diving into these things. Like, you're not going to really accidentally, like, get in contact with something you don't want to get in contact with. You know, I feel like you have a very, very protective spiritual team. And so there's no reason for you to be so worried because they really have your back. You are divinely protected. That was something that I had to say. Okay, so we got 2 cards. Well, 3 cards, but okay, I need all of them apparently. As above, so below. 51, deep end. 37, fire of sacrifice. Sometimes we need to take risks and we need to take the leap, take that leap of faith so that we can get closer to ourselves, to our destination, to our purpose. I'm going to read from the book. This card depicts great tongues of flame for fire sacrifice, consuming all things. The charred surface of the earth is like a playground for volcanic eruption. As the fires of the interior break loose, the fire in the foreground represents the personal fire of renunciation, the inner flame of concentration and conviction. This is set against a background suggesting the temporal nature of all things. The fire as evoked by this card symbolizes... Also, you guys should try scrying. I think you could be really good scryers as well. Using water or like in a candle, or using like a obsidian mirror or something, or even like TV. People use TVs to scry. Anyway, let me keep going. Set against a background suggesting the temporal nature of all things. The fire as evoked by this card symbolizes the disciplining of body, speech, and mind as a metaphysical sacrifice and offering. Recognize the ability of the self to let go of all habits and habit-forming thoughts. Replace these with conscious rituals of worship. A deliberate act of self-sacrifice may be necessary to the questioner who draws this card. If this is consciously practiced, a great advantage is to be gained. Let go of all worldly attachments, possessiveness, in favor of the inner fire of faith, keeping this constant in the illusory field of existence. So yeah, there are lots of things, ways of thinking, habits. Habits, I think, are more than just physical things you can do. They can also just be like habitual thoughts, um, and like structures in your life. You guys need to let go of some of them because it's holding you back and it's dimming your light and it's not letting you be reach your fullest potential and connect with the fullest version of yourself, of who you are. And there's a lot that you can find within yourself if you let yourself take the leap, take the jump. Let go of those things, even if they're very comfortable because they're like tradition, or comfortable because it's what you've been raised around, or comfortable because that's just always what you've done. Okay? In time, well, if people understand, they understand. If they don't, they don't. But you can't let other people's feelings and other people's necessities keep you from, like, obviously if you're a parent or something, you have to like take care of your children and your family. But if that's not the case, sometimes you do need to do things for yourself so that you can be a more fuller and like more fully realized version of you, like a truer version of you. Deep end. A mermaid, half woman and half fish, is depicted diving deep into seemingly bottomless waters. This represents a plunge of the psyche of the seeker into the waters of the unconscious. The adaptability of the self is symbolized by the partial transformation into a fish, indicating that this is an unknown area requiring such psychic adaptability in order to make the plunge fearlessly. Abandon restrictions made by the ego and let yourself go freely in the all-enveloping ocean of emotion. This represents a situation where one finds oneself in an alien environment needing adaptability. So yes, sometimes you need to let go. And like I was saying earlier, I feel like it's a close attachment to like family and siblings in particular, and there are emotional ties there. And it's not saying that you have to let go of those emotional ties, but that you can't prioritize other people over yourself all the time. You can't do that constantly. It's unhealthy, honestly. And that's, again, it's good to be considerate, it's good to be thoughtful, it's good to care for other people. Those things are all really important. But what about you? What about your life? You know, what about your soul? What about your purpose? What about your direction? Your purpose cannot be someone else. Have the same unconditional love for yourself that you have for everyone else. Because then I think your light will shine very brightly. 35. As above, so below. The flowery mandala is depicted set against a background of mysterious mountains glowing in the morning light of a new day. In the world below, the raw energy of the earth is seen bursting forth as molten lava from a volcano. Above is the refined essence of consciousness, suggested by the quality of the light and expectancy of the fresh air and space. The flower is as if projected on the mind sky from the mountains from the clouds or mountains, mirroring itself to produce the rich image of purple and red in the form of a mandala or mystic protective enclosure. In the two worlds of above and below, it mirrors itself to form a single unity. As has been attributed to the Emerald Tablet of Hermes, the supreme alchemist, that which is above is as that which is below, and that which is below is as that which is above. For performing the miracles of the one thing, thou shalt separate the earth from the fire, the subtle from the gross, gently and with much care. It ascends from earth to heaven and again descends to earth. So receiving the strength of both superior and inferior things, by this means you will have the glory of the world, and because of it, all obscurity will leave you. This is very much a heart card, indicating an opening of the heart center and the subsequent refinement of the emotions. A very favorable card, reminding the questioner of the truth beyond all dualities. This will require a lot of deep emotional digging. I also get the feeling that you guys may be people who compartmentalize your emotions a lot in order to avoid being overcome with them. But sometimes we need to face them head on to help clear our heart center and help us detach just enough that our energy flows more easily and we can get where we need to go, or we can feel where we are. You know, if the heart is too attached, sometimes it makes it really difficult or nearly impossible to know who you are, to breathe into yourself. You know, you guys should consider working with Prenite as well, which is it's a green stone. It's really good for people who are always caring for other people and need to be reminded to care for themselves. It's a stone that's really good for reminding you to breathe into yourself and to take care of yourself. It's a stone of unconditional love of yourself and of others. It's also good for dreams and lucid dreaming. And that was your reading, group 1. I hope it resonated. Please leave a comment, subscribe, like the video, etc. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. That flowed really well. I'm glad that I did it. And we're about to move on to group 2. Alright, hello group 2. Here is your deck. Here is your stone. And I'm doing this with every group. I'm going to pull some of these Supra Oracle cards. Supra. For you guys, I'll pull, well, I aim for one, but sometimes more than one comes out. So what is your shadow trying to tell you? Spirit. Air. And fire. Wow. Primordial on the bottom of the deck. That's... Whew. What transformative folks we have here. That's so funny. No, not really funny, but it's like... I feel it. Y'all got so much fire, so much willpower. This is a group of very passionate individuals. But I feel like your passion is stifled in some way. I think you guys are people who want to be very passionate and very open about your connection to the universe, your connection to spirit, your connection to like a higher force, higher power in some way. But I feel that you may often be suppressing your inner fire subconsciously. But I don't know why. I feel like a lot of things have been put into place for you in order to make your journey, your not necessarily your life, but your journey, your path, your destiny flow more freely and more easily. But you may have a hard time with knowing which direction to put your energy, if that makes sense. I think your shadow wants to emphasize the importance of meditation and connecting more with your higher self in order to know where you should be directing your energy, because this is a group of people with very strong willpower, extremely passionate people. You may have a air moon, so like Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius moon. I'm getting Libra and Aquarius specifically. And also maybe a fire Venus. Aries, Sagittarius, Leo, Venus. Yeah, it's extremely fiery, passionate people who have a lot to offer the world. I think this group of people could be really great pillars and guiding lights for people in your community, for people in the world, period. I think also encouraging other people to strengthen their connection to the earth. Encouraging other people to go deeper so that they can expand and so that they can also be on their own individual paths, if that makes sense. Encouraging people to connect more with the earth so that they are more connected with themselves and so that they can then be on their paths and on their destinies. I think these are people who may be not like teachers, but like you help teach people in some way, maybe by example, leading by example, or I could also see you doing workshops or something. But anyway, I'm gonna start pulling your tarot cards. Judgment. The last group also got Judgment as one of the earlier cards out. Page of Swords. The Tower. You guys have a lot to say. So much to say. I think you're intellectuals. I think you have some very revolutionary thoughts, a lot of revolutionary ideas. King of Wands. You have things that you could say, like ideas that could shake up the whole world. Maybe probably starting your communities and starting like, okay, I'm talking too much. Hold on. Wait, maybe. No, I'm not. Ha! Wow. That's wild. the Star. Wait, no. The Ace of Pentacles, the Star, and the Four of Wands. You guys could really shake up the world. You could shake up the nation. You could shake up structurally. You have so many ideas and you're so passionate about what you want to do and like what you're doing that you could really fully transform, revolutionize the state of things. I'm feeling very like excited, bubbly kind of energy, I guess. I'm getting a little excited for you. And I think your shadow wants you to forego and ignore any judgment that may be being placed on you. Regarding these ideas. Two of Swords. And the Seven of Cups. I think your shadow wants you to keep going forward. That's funny. The Three of Wands is on the bottom of the deck, and the Three of Wands is about like planning, forward movement, watching your ships come in, etc. I think that you guys, you may have a lot of people might be placing like judging eyes on you, like lots of people judging you for your ideas. So you're saying like, oh, that's not possible. Like, oh, why would we do that? You know, people putting you down for these ideas just because these ideas seem out of their reach. Like they can't imagine it happening, and so they put you down in that place. You know. Because you're represented here as the Page of Swords and as the King of Wands. And the Page of Swords is very young energy. And so these people may think that you're very naive, you know, that you don't actually know how the world works. Or like, I don't know why you're suggesting this. We've tried it before. It's not going to work, you know. People who are, you're probably going up against people who are pretty like closed-minded, but it's not because, I don't think it's necessarily because they think you have bad ideas. I think it's just because they're like really jaded. You know, people who have lived life, seen things, and are like drained by it, you know, tired of seeing people put in work and effort, tired of putting in effort and work themselves and not seeing it go anywhere and not seeing it evolve and not seeing any progress be made. And so as a result, they end up putting you down, I think. Because you're also here as the King of Wands, so I don't actually think you're that naive. I just think that you have new ideas that maybe need to be fleshed out a little bit more. The King of Wands is someone who is able to sit, like I was listening to a reading yesterday, and the King of Wands is someone who, when they get up because they know what they're doing. You know, they get up because they have a full sense of the direction that they're going in, what their plan is, and like what they want. And that's you. You know what you want. You have thought out what you're doing. It's not that you haven't thought it out. You have new ideas and new things that you'd like to try, and you know how you want to do them, and you have thought things out, and you have the details all figured out, and you're really passionate about it, and you have the will and the fire to make it happen, to open these doors for these people, to provide a like guiding light, you know, for your community, for the people around you. And I think that will help them forge a greater sense of stability within themselves as well. I feel compelled to pull these cards for you. Soul's Journey Oracle. Those fell all the way over there. Loneliness. I know that I am never alone. Humor. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. Pride. I love myself and I see myself in everyone. Denial. I acknowledge my fear, but I replace it with the insight of awareness. That's on the bottom of the deck. I'm not pulling it, but it's there, so I'm taking note of it. And so you guys have this great passion, this great fire, and all these great ideas, but I feel like you don't get the support that you need or that you feel that you want in order to feel confident enough to move forward. And so one, your shadow is saying, okay, so like if you get really annoyed by these people that are looking down on you, looking down on your ideas, that's fair and that's valid. But also there could be some things to learn from them in a way. Like have this love for yourself, but also look at them and realize they feel this way because of XYZ reason. You know, it's not for no reason. And acknowledge, like, and if it like hits a very deep chord in you, if their annoyance hits a very deep chord in you, then maybe it's because those fears are fears that you have yourself. But you're able to overcome them because of the way that, like, because of your own open mind, because of the way that you think, you know, because of the way that you're able to see the world. And so because I feel that your mind is so free, it causes you to feel lonely and like you don't have the community that you need to push forward, really, or to do what you need to do. Because then you feel blinded. Because it's like, I don't know if this is going to work because no one actually is supportive of what I want to do. I don't know if this is going to work because how can I get anything done if no one can, if I can't work with anyone, you know, like I'm only one person, what can I do? Yeah, how can I get these things done if no one actually sees the potential that I see, and if no one wants to put any faith or any energy into my ideas? But I think some of the advice here from your shadow is like, do it anyway, and let yourself, and like try and really focus on the positive not just the positive outcomes, but like put the negative Nancy's away. You know, humor. I choose to focus on the lighter side of life. Choosing to mainly focus on the positive aspects, and choosing to mainly focus on the progress that could be made and like how good your ideas are. Choosing to really work out the kinks, work out the difficulties, work out any holes that they might be able to poke in your ideas. Okay, fix any problems that they find a way to fix it, or not even necessarily fix it, but a way to counteract it. You know, like they say, oh, this thing is wrong, and you'd be like, well, actually, and then have your little fact, you know. And so there's this feeling of being like in the unknown, this feeling of being like not like kind of directionless because of a lack of support. I'm looking at the Seven of Cups here. The Seven of Cups is it can be insight, you know. It can be lots of options, not really knowing which one to choose. So I think the Seven of Cups here, I think it's really emphasizing the importance of you guys doing the deep research that you need to do, crossing your T's, dotting your I's, making sure that everything is done thoroughly and done carefully, so that you don't I guess sabotage yourself in a way. Your shadow is pushing you to keep moving forward despite the fear, despite the worries. But do make sure that what you're doing is done carefully and well thought out. Because once you get past these people, because sometimes we face these people and they're meant to test us and to help push us to make ourselves better and to help push us so that we are more perfected. You know, so that our ideas are better, you know. Sometimes we run up against walls to help us figure out a way to cross over that wall, or figure out a way to like not do better, but like to adapt. Yes, adapt. And so I think you guys have to learn how to adapt your ideas, learn how to counteract these, like, because I think a lot of the fears people have, they're valid because these are things that they have faced before, you know. You can't just like brush it off completely, but I do think you can use it to your advantage in the path of like forming your ideas, perfecting your ideas. And also I'm going to pull a couple of psychic tarot cards since we have some time. Also, that it's okay to want to be around other people. It's okay to want to have companionship and connection. It's okay to want these things. It's not selfish. It's not some like frilly like thing. Everybody wants a connection in some way. Everybody wants to feel valued and loved and cared for. It's okay to want that. And I think your shadow also wants to tell you that, you know. It's okay to want a consistent, caring, loving person to support you through your life. That's okay. I know that fell out of the blue, but I feel like I needed to say it to you guys. Throat chakra. Solitude. Moving on. I think as you guys connect more with your ideas and with your purpose and with your direction, and as you have more confidence in what you want to do. Okay, anyway. Third chakra, solitude, and moving on. But yes, as I was saying, as you guys go deeper into yourself, as you connect more with your purpose, your ideas, your direction, as you find the light and you find the positivity and you find and curate the best aspects of yourself, and you'll be able to, I think, speak your truth more strongly and be able to have more confidence in your ideas. And I think some of this comes with maturity, some of this comes with age, but I think what you're going to say, what you have to say is very revolutionary and very important. And so you shouldn't let it go. But I think if you can't find the support you need here, you should take the lessons that you learn from the negative Nancys, take those lessons, help them, use them to perfect yourself more, and then from there, push yourself, like move elsewhere, because you will eventually find people who are able to support you and who want to support you in your ideas. People who see the potential in you, because it's there. I don't get the feeling that you guys don't know what you're doing. I don't get the feeling that you're going in like out of your depth or anything like that. I just get the feeling that people are jaded and have a hard time supporting you because of their own worries and their own jadedness and their own experiences. All right, group 2, that was your reading. I hope it resonated. Feel free to leave a like and a comment. Let me know if it resonated or not. Moving on to group 3. Alright, hello group 3. You guys chose the Dali deck by Salvador Dali. And this is a Labradorite. You can't really see the flashes that well, but like it's very beautiful. This one has like very deep cobalt blue flashes in it. Yes. So I'm gonna pull you some cards from the Supra Oracle first. Magic. Perseverance. And water. Oh, and on the bottom of the deck we have, it's a spiral, it's a shell. It's an ammonite, and ammonites are like ancient water snail creatures that I actually have a stone from one. Well, I have a bigger piece. This is an ammonite. They're good for connecting with ancestry, connecting with water, grounding, very grounding. And then this is also a piece of an ammonite. It's like a bigger piece, bigger chunk. They come in different sizes. This is ammonite technically. Yes, it's really cool. Anyway. Anyway, you guys, magic, perseverance, and water. You guys have a really great gift of turning nothing into something. I think this is a group of people who are really great alchemists. Alchemists meaning people who are able to take all the aspects of one thing and transform those aspects into something completely different. Like people who are able to take like darkness, transform it into light, and I don't mean darkness in a bad way. I mean darkness as in like chaotic, unformed energy, which has a lot of potential. You know what I mean? I think you're able to do that, not especially regarding your emotions. I think you have a lot of creative potential regarding your emotions if you're able to direct them in a productive direction. You would do well in using your emotions to drive you in a positive way. Taking the more chaotic, darker emotions, which are not bad, by the way, not bad. Taking like anger, sadness, grief, heartbreak, taking all of those things within you and using them to drive yourself forward. Using them as a source of energy for yourself. Because I think you guys have been through a lot. You have time and time again had to use just pure passion, pure emotion. Like, I feel like you may not be people who have a lot of material wealth. And so sometimes all you have is your emotion. All you have is your passion. All you have are your feelings and what's inside of you. All you have is your soul, and that's all you have. And so I think you are people who are able to use all of that energy to make significant changes. You guys are magicians. You guys are alchemists. Okay? And using those using that energy helps you get through life in a productive way. It helps you get through life. It's a necessity for you. Okay, the cards are doing a lot here. Okay. Queen of Pentacles. Lovers. Five of Cups. Reversed. These cards are kind of big, so don't mind me. Oh, I don't need one of these cards. Hold on, let me take it out. There. The Hermit. Three of Pentacles. The World. Six of Cups. Two of Swords. King of Wands. And the Empress. Bottom of the deck, the Seven of Swords. And top of the deck is the Four of Pentacles. Okay, so one thing that's important for you guys is to remember that it's not you, it's not always you against the world. Okay. First of all. No. It's not always you against the world. You guys have had to do a lot on your own. You've had to be very resourceful. You've had to really be careful, and you've had to like really look out for yourself. I feel like you are people who have really been through a lot of difficulty and sadness and grief in your life. Hence, that's also why I think there was over here with magic, perseverance, and water. And I think that you may have used magic to get you through things. You may have used witchcraft to help get you through difficult times in life, as you should, as you should. And so I think you haven't really been able to rely on other people the way that you would like, or not even that you would like, but you haven't really been able to rely on people like at all in the past. This world card looks very devilish to me, because they're all chained to this, and like we are chained. We are like not victims. We are like subject to the experiences of the world, subject to our life here. We can't really escape any of that. Okay, so continuing. Yes, we are subject to the circumstances of our life. We can't really escape them. And so we're always in this cycle constantly of like new things, letting go, death and rebirth constantly throughout our lives. And so you have had to go through several transformations, I think, within yourself. Constantly having to change, constantly have to work through something difficult, constantly having to like find new people that you can rely on, and I think that you have found a group that is suitable for you, looking at the Three of Pentacles. But ultimately, it's frequently you looking out for yourself. Like, even when you find those groups, there's still some things where you don't quite trust them fully, I'm looking at the King of Wands and the Empress energies together here, with the Queen of Coins too, and the Hermit all being here. You've had to rely on yourself completely. You've had to be your own right hand. You've had to be your own person, always looking out for yourself. And that means you're very resourceful, and you're very resilient, and you're very my cat, Miso, move. Very capable, But I think what your shadow is telling you here is that it's with I think that's why the Lovers is here, and also the Three of Pentacles, is that it's okay to trust and rely on other people. You can't always be only looking out, like you can't always have those barriers and those boundaries up. And I know with the Two of Swords, in the current moment that you're in, it may be very difficult to know what you like, what to do. You know, like one part of you is saying like, logically this makes sense, but like I've never been able to really trust people before, so I don't really know if I should right now. Because what if it's just setting myself up for failure? You know, but I think that that's self-sabotage, personally, at least in this particular circumstance, because I think that you have very strong intuition, and you just be knowing. You'd be able, like, and I like I said earlier, you guys are not strangers to like divination. You're not strangers to the occult. You're not strangers to magic and etc. I think that you could like divine on it. Ask your cards, ask your coins, ask whatever you read, ask it. Can I trust the situation? Ask your higher self, ask your intuition, meditate on it. Can you trust this situation? Can you open up to this person? Can you trust them to be a stable source for you? Can you trust them to be there for you in life? Not just in word, but like in their actions. I think your shadow is encouraging you to let go. Not that like your discernment is important and being able to look out for yourself is important, but I think your shadow is encouraging you to release some of your boundaries and let yourself open up. You know, don't be afraid of like scaring someone off because you're too dark or you're too scary or something like that, you know, because if they can't handle it, then they probably can't really handle you. You know, but I feel like if you're like with someone right now, or if you are thinking about getting with someone right now, like if you have someone in particular in mind, like romantically, you can, it's like, you know, if you can trust them. Be careful not to let your past situations or your past incidences or things that have happened to you before or other ways that you've been like done dirty prevent you from trusting someone now. Yeah, don't let these past situations where you've only been able to rely on yourself keep you from opening up and being there fully for someone that is there for you. You know? I need to pull some cards from somewhere. I was checking the time, sorry. I'm going to pull a couple of Lenormand cards. I want to know some details on like who you can open up to and details on like what has happened, you know, what kinds of things you've done. Okay. I have two sets of Lenormand cards. One is big, one is small. I'm going to use the small ones first to get some details, and we'll use the big ones for like some themes, okay? This is the Rana George Lenormand deck. Also, I feel like you wouldn't have ended up being this close with this person, or like based on the energy I'm getting from you now, you wouldn't have ended up getting this close with this person if you weren't able to actually trust them, or if you didn't think that you could. You know, because I think your intuition and your discernment are so strong that you wouldn't have even gotten this far, this close in the first place. The Lover is clarified by the Scythe and the Child. Okay, so this is a new connection. Oh, and then the dog is on the bottom of the deck. So this is a new connection, and I think it's a little unclear for you because it's so new. And so you're like, okay, I don't really know, because we aren't like super close on like a romantic way. I think it may be someone that you've known for a while, but I do think that this is the first time that you've gotten close in this way. Number one, with anyone, but also with this person in particular. But also with the scythe here, I get the feeling that they are a very reliable person, someone who is consistent, someone who is always there for you, someone who does what they need to do when they need to do it, someone that you can really rely on. You know, this is a consistent, I think, caring individual, someone who really sees the potential in you, sees you for who you really are, and so because of that, I think you can rely on them intensely. You know, I think that they're not someone to cut corners, and I think that they have their own darkness, they have their own secrets. Everybody does. You know, I'm not saying that you aren't unique, but I'm saying that, like, you are not the only one with things that are like that you're afraid to share. I'm sure they do too, you know, and so then you could bond over these difficulties. But I think it's up to you to decide whether or not, like, the level of comfort that you have with them, and it's up to you to decide how far you want things to go, and if you're willing to open up, and if you're willing to, like, let them open up as well and get that mutual intimacy and closeness that you need. Clarify the Hermit, please. Clover. And the Ring. You've been very committed to yourself, which is good. And you've had a lot of luck, I think. And, like, you know you better the devil you know than the devil you don't. You know, in this case, you are the devil you know. And so you've had a lot of luck in relying on yourself, because you know that, and, like, yourself isn't, you are not going to leave yourself. You always have your own back. You are the kind of, you always have your own back, which is good. But that's part of why it's hard for you to want to rely on other people, because I think the only one who's really had your back the way that you've needed it in the past has been you. And just also with the ring is like cycles. So, like, time and time and time again, you've only been able to rely on yourself, because even if you are able to trust other people, they might not be there physically. Like, they might be gone somewhere. Like, they might be off, I don't know, somewhere else, traveling the world, or not in your state, or, like, maybe you needed someone, but you were fighting with them at the time. It just so happens that every time you really need someone, they just aren't there. I don't think that's the case with this person. I think there's someone who has been there, because I think that there's someone you already know, so they have been there for you before. And I think if you were to look back on your past, and if you were to look back on times within the past year to 2 years, this person has been there for you consistently. Clarify the Five of Cups. I also think that you're someone who has chosen to, who needs love? I have friends. Who needs love when I have friends who I'm comfortable with? Who needs close, intimate connections when I have myself, and when I have my book, and when I have my ancestors, when I have these other things? Who needs it? But you want it. Even if you act like you don't, you want it. I think. You want someone you can share your secrets with, I think, ultimately. I think that's what's most important for you. Someone you can share your secrets with, someone you can be open with, someone you can be your full self without any judgment, and that's what you want. You know, you don't want to be afraid of, like, oh, I do this and then they leave me. And so because of that, you end up closing yourself off, because you're worried that they're going to leave you for things that you are, like, subconsciously ashamed of, or, like, have been taught, or, like, you are probably used to people reacting poorly to you exposing darker aspects of yourself. And so then you keep them to yourself, and you hide them away, and you do all these things. You keep yourself, like, locked up. But I think you need to let yourself, like, your shadow wants you to let yourself experience this. Let yourself be open. Your shadow wants you to let yourself go through life without worrying that it's gonna like that this connection is just gonna like implode on you or something like that, you know, because I think if you expect it to go poorly, then it might end up doing that. Or if you keep yourself closed off, then they're going to feel like you're holding secrets, and then they're going to feel like you're hiding something from them, and then they're not going to trust you, you know. And so then you end up self-sabotaging the relationship or the connection in some way by keeping them in the dark. Clarify the Two of Swords, please. The road, well, path. Well, it's the road. I don't remember what it's called, but it's 22. And this card is representative of paths and directions and like decisions to make. And I think it's funny that it's on the Two of Swords. I also think that you may be afraid that by choosing to open up, that you'll be relinquishing some of your freedom. But if someone truly loves you, then you will be free. You know, they're not going to restrict your freedom. Because real love comes from a place of detachment. Unconditional love comes from a place of detachment. What's that lyric? The song, hold on. I have it written down. Oh. Sorry for the rustling sounds if you hear anything. I was writing about unconditional love back in the summertime. Yeah. Yes, I'm back. I had to look up a song. Hello, It's Me by the Isley Brothers. And one of the lyrics is, it's important to me that you know you are free. And I think that is part of how this person feels for you. They have no need, no desire to control you, no desire to keep you restricted. They want you to be your full self. And so they're not going to try and restrict you and hold you back. So you don't have to worry about that or feeling betrayed or feeling captured or trapped or anything like that. They're not a controlling person. I think you just need to communicate to them your fear surrounding that, you know. Because then they could give you some reassurance if you're open about it. So I think you want this, and you're used to being in charge of your own life, and I don't think they have any want or need to change that. Even if you've had issues with controlling people in the past, I don't think that's something that this person will do or like wants to do like at all with you. I think that they just want to be there for you. They want to see your secrets. They want to get to know you. They want to be close with you, and that's all that they want. You know? There's no need to be afraid. I think you should work on your sacral chakra. There's a lot of exercises surrounding the sacral chakra involving water, like drinking a glass of water, feeling, letting yourself experience the feeling of the water in you, how it nourishes you, how it moves through your body. Sitting in a bathtub, connecting with the water, releasing your fears and worries into the water, doing spiritual baths. Drink half a glass of water with your intention. You'll drink half a glass of water, write down your intention, and then the next day drink the other half a glass. But yeah, there's a lot of exercises you can do with water. Work with your sacral, because it'll help you with building this connection and help you with being open to intimacy, emotional and physical intimacy with this person. Because there is a lot of fear here, and I think your shadow wants you to like face those. And I think having I think you do work with your shadow a lot, and you're very aware of your own fears, but I think sometimes it can be hard to want to face those because our ego gets in the way. And it's like, I don't have a fear of intimacy. I'm very open. And you might be in some aspects, but I think you need to, with the close intimacy with people that are romantic partners and such, it's okay to trust them, because that's why you brought them in the first place, right? You know, they're not gonna hurt you, I don't think. But also part of life is just going through the experience and learning to just like go for it regardless of the fear that we have, because we don't know what's on the other side. There's no way to know. So don't let yourself be stuck because you don't know what's going to happen next. I think that's all that I have for group 3. I hope that this resonated. I hope that it gave you some insight and some reflection. Please feel free to leave a like and a comment. Let me know if it resonated. Yes. Thank you for watching this video. Hello, it's me. Whose sign is that? Give me a second.